What's up, guys? It's been a long time since I did one of these. Yeah, current circumstances have been changed. I couldn't get access to the original computer that I was working on at school, which basically means I had to start all over again. Myself a little a Linux machine, an old that's kind of where I'm up to. So I modified the original code where you know how I had detecting the markings in a singular image. And I converted that code to import a video file and look for lines in that file, and that is working quite nicely. Obviously, you can see I just need to adjust the area of interest because this is a video file I found. It's the wrong perspective that I would like, so it's looking for stuff here and then here when it really shouldn't be. But the core physics, the core system does work surprisingly well. And this run is a screen recording, but it was running live, and it was a bit junk slow. As I said, this computer's not the fastest, not the best. The biggest problem at the moment is I'm running into this error that I don't exactly know what it means. Assuming that it's a logic problem because it's a for loop, and it's basically saying 4 lines, like how many lines it detects, do this, so display them. But for some reason it's not. Sometimes it gets a couple frames in and then crashes, and sometimes it just crashes right off the start, which I am not too sure what it's doing. So basically, I changed to import that video file, I just used the CV2 video capture. That's my file name. And then set a while true loop for every frame that it does this. And this is how I'm extracting the frames from the video file. So basically, the frame value is going to be IMG. So I resize that frame to whatever size it is, but it may be different. I'm going to work on a 720p landscape just to make things easy. It doesn't have to be the highest quality. I do need some quality, so I thought 720p doesn't put too much stress on the computer as well. So yes, and then I basically resize that image here with using IMG as the image for every frame, and that now becomes image C, and it goes into our regular calculation, which is pretty good. I've taken out many of the CV shows, so it doesn't show us every frame, obviously. Yeah, this is where it's cracking up, where it's failing. I'm not too sure why, but I believe it's a logic issue. Something to do with I don't have enough variables for the amount I'm trying to, because this code was only programmed for generating lines or finding lines in a singular image as opposed to a whole video. Coming at you with an update. I've been struggling. What I showed you in the last update was this object error that I started my whole GitHub on, and I asked a question, Stack Overflow. It just shows how a little bit of reading can go such a long way. Yeah, we have it. Here, this website. This got me an answer. So this was their example and my example. This, basically the same. So for statement, and then another for statement, if statement, that's fine. Read through this, and turns error is cause, correct me if I'm wrong, once you check an if statement. So if you say, if B is in book, for example, but B is actually null, so the variable that you're checking against is actually 0. Freaks out, doesn't know what to do. So what this article, and then what I figured out is that you have to have another check. So you have to say, if the variable that you're checking against, so this second one there, so if it is not null, then we can proceed. But if it is null, then we go all the way down until the code breaks. Yeah, until we get this break, and then we start all over again in my while true loop. So that was all. Just that one line that checks if the variable that we're checking against in our for statement here actually has data. And this variable lines is defined up here in this line. And this can occur, in my situation at least, if I show, if the first frame in a video is black, and the code can't find any lines, which means lines would be null because there aren't any lines. And code always broke. I am so happy that we have figured this out. So that actually makes sense. What you have to do is add in that line and say if the variable that we're checking against is null, then we're good to go.